started noticing and going, that's cool, I want to wear that.
My earliest fashion memory is probably when I was young at school with all of the bands like Bananarama and Madonna and the Smiths and bands like that, and just thinking, God, I'd love to be like Madonna and wear a corset and a basque, or be like Bananarama and ponce about in dungarees. And then I suppose I was very lucky in that era to be at the right era for the supermodels, and I always dreamed of being Yasmin Le Bon and being married to a pop star like Simon Le Bon.
Have you married a pop star?
No, sadly not, sadly not. And with a dry stone waller, it's similar to a pop star, but not quite the same.
When I was about 11 years old, my mum had bought me Backstreet Boys tickets, and I was really, really excited to go to the local sports shop. I can't remember what was going back then, and I bought a bright yellow basketball t-shirt and a pair of bright blue basketball shorts. And I was a little chubby kid, and I went to the Backstreet Boys gig and looked awful. My earliest fashion memories, I've got two that spring to mind instantly. One is my mum, who was extremely stylish, so beautiful and elegant in anything that she wore. So whether that was a business suit, and I'm talking 80s pinstripe, shoulder pads, kind of like it woman. She looks exquisite, very powerful. Or whether she was wearing an Indian outfit, so a sari, for instance, she just looked exquisite, just stunning. And she seemed to carry it in this way that just seemed effortless. And then the second memory is a contrast, because it's me, and me being, I suppose, exploring what I felt worked well on my body at the time. And more often than not, getting it wrong. But we'll get into that later.
It comes from everywhere, and I think everything that you ever absorb goes in there, and your likes and your dislikes just disappear into your subconscious. I enjoy museums, art galleries, magazines, old films, anything I like. I just constantly absorb. Even when I'm working, I've got something going on in the background. I love to go to second-hand shops. I like to go to vintage places. I love to go to the boutiques in town. Anywhere and everywhere I go, I've got to check out what's around. So anything and everything, really.
I was actually discussing this with a friend the other day, and I was saying that it seems like fashion inspiration, even from designers all the way down to customers, it seems like we want to dress how we wanted to dress when we were little. You know, when you used to play dress up in your mum's clothes, and it seems like everyone always goes back to that. So now we've got all these trends of all these 90s, and trends are reappearing, and it seems like all the designers are going back to what they saw when they were little. And because we've got so many women in our family, there's a lot of style
in our family.
There's a lot of style to choose from, and I think it's a similar thing for me. It's definitely massively to do with you. You're quite a big inspiration. There's actually a great photo of Mum out with all the other mums when we're all like this big, and you're wearing a Guns N' Roses t-shirt and a pair of denim shorts, and it's pretty much what I was wearing yesterday.
My first style inspiration thought was my grandma, because my grandma was like a crazy artist. She used to wear Doc Martens and have chopsticks in her hair. She would wear big long skirts. She looked a bit like Helena Bonham Carter, but like weirder. And then now I look at pictures of like my aunties when they were going to the car boot, and the stuff that they would wear, and it wasn't cool 80s stuff. It was like, it was funny. We saw a picture recently, and it's a kind of cross between Pigeon Lady and not cool 80s person. And that's kind of what I go for sometimes, I think.
I'm not sure you want to know this. I sort of open my wardrobe and just have a look at what falls out onto me.
and just kind of depends what I'm doing. If I'm walking my dogs, it's outdoor wear, obviously, and if I'm going out into town or I've got a meeting or something, it really depends on what mood I'm in. Sometimes for no apparent reason I'll wear a really lovely dress. I do believe in the idea of, if in doubt, overdress. So we'll quite often overdress rather than underdress. If you've got good outfits in your wardrobe as well, it's shameful not to wear them.
I stand in front of my wardrobe and look at everything, and something will catch my eye and something will jump out at me. So my clothes kind of choose me depending on how I'm feeling when I get up in the morning.
I decide what to wear every morning by whatever is on the floor that doesn't have a stain on and what my mood is at the time. And sometimes I'll wake up and I think, do you know what, today I'm wearing a dress and I'm just going to be femme and I'm just going to put a load of makeup on and just look hot and, you know, put a push-up bra on, put some fishnets on. And then some days I'm like, do you know what, I'm just going to do a bloke core and like put a footy t-shirt on and pair of Rockport or something. So it just literally depends on my mood and what's clean.
So I decide what to wear every morning. Well, I've got a little bit of a trick with that. Once a month I have like a bit of a dress up day where I pull everything out of the wardrobe, and as the seasons change, whatever, I'll like pull out outfits that might be likely candidates for the next month. Otherwise you just put stuff away and you forget you have them, and the next time you meet them, the moths might have been playing with them for some time. So then in the morning when I get up, if I've got to go for a meeting or I'll go and walk with my friends, I'll just find the outfit that's styled and ready to go, because I'm not best in the mornings. I need a couple of coffees.
How has my style changed? Hopefully for the better, because I was just thinking of that question. It makes me cringe, like inside, very deeply. Because if I think about, so like back in, say, the mid-90s, so I was going to college and then, into university, and I went through this phase of wearing sort of like, I suppose what I'd consider kind of like on trend now. So sort of oversized trousers, waistcoats, a tie, so an almost androgynous look in a way. But then I sort of like, my mum was a brilliant seamstress and had fantastic style, and she had these really gorgeous crochet, this sounds really weird, crochet trousers, white ones, which I distinctly always remember having to wear sort of like short shorts underneath them. I wore them on campus at uni, and I remember my husband now, who was my boyfriend at the time, just giving me the craziest wolf whistle ever as I walked down to like the maze of like stretch of campus. Highly embarrassing, but those are sort of, I cringe at some of those, but I hope that it's evolved into a more simple style.
Well, they obviously worked.
It obviously worked. He put a ring on it.
I think it does go with the trends, probably. I think you do, as something comes back in. When I got these flared jeans from yours, I am dressed in vintage Suki today. And when these jeans came back in, I just loved them, because I thought, yes, flares have come back in and they're so flattering. So I think I've still got things in my wardrobe from 30 plus years ago, and I've got things in my wardrobe that did belong to my auntie. I've got a Jaeger suit that I've adapted, that I've had shortened, and I don't think it's changed as I actually think it changes week by week, day by day. It's whatever I feel like wearing.
My style was always painstakingly thought out, but it's changed over the years into much more of a relaxed style. So I think, as I can only speak obviously as a woman, I have morphed into hopefully finding my own style now, which is a lot more about fun and playing around with different looks. But then I still love to wear a really sexy black dress. So I'm big into that kind of very glamorous look at times.
I think I've got a little bit more daring. I've always had quite sensible jobs and I've always had to conform in my clothes. But now I've got older, I kind of don't care and I wear what I want. If I want to go to work in a long frilly dress with Doc Marten boots, I do. And people just take me as they find me, and I feel much more comfortable being like that. I don't feel comfortable dressing in a way that doesn't suit me. So I just, I love to wear a pattern. I love to wear something bright, and I dress how I feel rather than the fashion. And most of the time, my fashion or my dress sense isn't fashion at all. It's just something quite eclectic that I've thrown together that sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. But I just get on with it.
it seems like we want to dress how we wanted to dress when we were little.